There are three types of feeling: Sukha Vedana, Dukkha Vedana, and Upekha Vedana. Pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and neutral feeling. Yogi have to perceive these three feelings to be impermanent. Then yogi realized they are suffering, not self, just phenomenon. So Buddha continued to ask questions to the five bhikkhus. Bhikkhus, that which is impermanent, is that suffering or happiness? The five bhikkhus answer, one day it is suffering. People have liking for pleasant sensation. They looking for so-called happiness because they think pleasant sensations are enduring, everlasting. When you see them dissolving fast every moment, not lasting even for a second, you lose your desire for them. Just for the sake of enjoying the so-called happiness, we have to go in pursuit of it, not for 1 hour, not for 1 day, not for 1 year, but our whole life. For that one pleasurable sensation, we have to chase for it. Then the ocean of suffering is getting wider and wider. While in pursuit of this happiness, people meet their death, people have to go into coffin. So there is nothing we can rely upon pleasurable sensation. Even if the happiness we are seeking for is not obtained, we have to find ways of avoiding unhappiness. That is to maintain ourselves in neutral condition. Even as we seek for neutral feeling, physical pain and mental suffering may arise. That cause also suffering. And suffering can appear because the happy feeling and the neutral feeling are not permanent. So the impermanent happy feeling and the impermanent neutral feeling are also not dependable. To go after pleasant feeling and neutral feeling is suffering. When they disappear, it is suffering also, because unhappy feeling comes in to take their place. When happy feeling disappear, people have to face unhappiness. Take for instance the plight of parents. They are happy and delightful when their children are present. When suddenly the family members or children were taken away by bad people, or the united family, husband and wife, separated or divorced, somehow has been happy with his wealth and affluence, and then his business destroyed, so they will all become subjected to intense unhappiness, and the health deteriorate, and it may cost some of them their lives. So feeling is frightening, feeling is terrifying because of its nature of impermanence. So Buddha asked, that feeling which is impermanent, suffering and subject to change, is it proper to regard it as this is my, this is me, this is myself? The five bhikkhus answer, no hi tambandi. It is not the Blessed One. So these are the same type of question and answer used when explaining rupas. The same. So what is the difference? The difference is, in the case of rupa, the term involves not only the material qualities inside one's person, but also all those external animate and inanimate objects. But here, to the feeling Feeling is where? Internal or external? Feeling is internal. Feeling, the main thing is internal one, which we grasp as our feeling. In feeling of happiness, we take delight with craving, it is mind, and the neutral feeling. Neutral feeling is devoid of unpleasantness. Neutral feeling has the nature of happy feeling. Although attachment to neutral feeling is not so strong, as with the proper happy feeling, there is taking of delight in that feeling. How about unpleasant feeling? Unpleasant feeling is undesirable, but we think, who suffer? It is I who suffer. Who pain? It is I who pain, who have pain. So there is stay grasping for that unpleasant feeling as self. There is stay attachment for unpleasant sensation as self. Attachment to the feeling in this way. Why? Because people are ignorant of the true nature of impermanence, suffering, and subject to change. Now yogi is taking note of the feeling. When it occurs, yogi understands at once the oppressive nature of feeling. So what is the difference between the yogi and ordinary people with regard to their knowledge about feeling? Indeed, there is a very great difference between the yogi and ordinary people. The ordinary people perceive his feeling in terms of self. I suffer, I'm painful, I feel happy, I feel pain when delighting in happiness. If this pain goes away, I will feel happy. So ordinary people look his feeling in terms of self. So how do you view your feeling? How meditators look their feeling? Do they view their feeling in terms of self? For the yogis, he understands the feeling just continuous phenomena of aggregates arising and disappearing continuously. Because he observes all the feeling, whatever feeling he observes, it disappears. So he views the feeling just as continuous phenomena of aggregates. When unhappy feeling appears, yogi perceives it as an undesirable sensation in truth, in the continuous process of mind and matter, and renewing itself afresh. And yogi perceives the sensation as another process of rising and disappearing. Put on top on the first one, he has been observing. From the beginning of that feeling, yogi recognizes its oppressive nature, just like a thorn, which comes to be embedded in the flesh. So how yogi view the happy feeling? Yogi view the happy feeling appears to be pleasant. Happy feelings seemingly to be good while they are happening. But we have to put effort to gain that pleasurable sensation. It is suffering. Unfortunately, if we perform unwholesome deeds in pursuit of pleasurable feeling, suffering has to be faced. Taking delight in the pleasurable sensation will keep on renewing the cycle of existences that result in suffering of aging and death. So when that happy feeling disappears, it will cause intense unhappiness. So happy feeling is to be regarded as suffering. And how about neutral feeling? Neutral feeling is also regarded as suffering because it is also impermanent. And Vedana Sanyutta Pali Canon describe how these feelings should be regarded by the practitioner. So it mentioned the practitioner has seen the happy feeling as suffering. The practitioner has seen the unhappy feeling as a thorn and the neutral feeling as suffering too because of its impermanence. Yogis are observing three types of feeling: unpleasant feeling, pleasant feeling, and neutral feeling continuously. And then yogi can see the unpleasant feeling as an oppression, like a thorn. Yogi see the pleasant feeling as frightful suffering because we have to chase after it, and because when they are absent, we suffer. And also yogi see the neutral feeling as suffering because it is impermanent and the effort is required to maintain it. So Buddha asks the five bhikkhus whether it is proper to regard feeling as this is mine, this is me, this is myself. The five bhikkhus answer, not indeed, Bhante. There are many types of feeling. We may have pleasant worldly feelings which are connected with things we come across in our life. Sights, sounds, smells, taste, odors, thoughts, and think. You think you possess such as a husband, a wife, children. These pleasant feelings depends upon worldly things. So it is called pleasant worldly feeling. So when you have such feeling, you must be aware of it and you take note of it as pleasant. Sometimes you may have unpleasant feeling. You feel sad, you feel depressed, and you feel disappointed because a lot of problem in the family life, worldly life. And sometimes there is something you possess, something of value, disappear or taken away from you. Then you get angry and you become sad and you feel sorry. So these are unpleasant feelings concerned with worldly things. It can happen to meditators also when they think of something bad that has happened to them. So when such a feeling arises, meditator must be mindful of this and note sad or anger or disappointed, whatever it's come up, you have to note. So during the retreat, you may also have unworldly feelings. When you meditate, you may have good concentration, or you may see the rising and disappearing of objects. When you see reality, you feel happy. You feel so happy at the time, and you can hardly suppress this feeling. Such a feeling may come to meditators, especially when they have reached the stage where they see the arising and disappearing of phenomena. Meditators should not experience that feeling with attachment. Meditators must be aware. Meditator must be mindful of that pleasant feeling. If you attach to that pleasant feeling, you will stay in this stage and you won't be able to make progress. During the retreat, they have to encounter unpleasant worldly feelings. So in the practice of meditation, you have to pass by many obstacles, sometimes good and sometimes bad. Even though you try very hard, you need to pass by all. And if you encounter some difficulty, you become discouraged, you become depressed. That is an unworldly, unpleasant feeling. Sometimes meditators have reached the stage of good level, then they've fallen from it. Then they experience some sadness. So that unpleasant feeling must be noted, discouraged, or sad. You need to note it and you can overcome. Sakkapinya Sutta commentary gave one story. There was an elder Thera by the name of Mahasiva. Elder Mahasiva was very learned. He taught 18 groups of students. He was a really great teacher, especially learned in these scriptures. He had 30,000 bhikkhus attain arahathood, just following his advice. One day, one of those pupils reviewed the good qualities in himself. Then he thought of his teacher, Mahasiva. Then he reviewed his teacher, Mahasiva. The student found that his teacher was still a Putujana, Walin, and teacher had not yet attained arahathood. So the student was Arahant, and he went to teach his teacher a lesson. He went there by air. When he had come to the teacher Mahasiva asked him, "What do you come for?" He said, "I want to hear a Dhamma talk from you." Mahasiva said, "I have no time, I am very busy." Then the student said, "One day I will ask you when you go to the village for alms." "No, there will be many people who will ask questions at that time," Mahasiva said. And the students kept asking for an appointment, but every time the teacher was too busy for him. Every time the teacher Mahasiva was very busy for him, so he had no chance to teach Dhamma. At the end, the student told the teacher, "Bande, you are very busy. Don't you have time for at least 2 or 3 sittings? If you don't have any time, you won't even have time to die. You are always busy. You are like the back of a chair. You are relied upon by other people, but you cannot rely on yourself. Bande, actually, I don't want anything more from you." Then the Arahant, the students, fly in the air and went away. Now the teacher Mahasiva was moved. He decided to practice meditation on this event. In the beginning, he thought he would become an Arahant in 2 or 3 days. He did not tell anybody about it. However, he could not attain arahathood. So he had to pass through one rainy season, one vasa, and at the end of the rainy season, he still could not attain anything. He felt sorry, so he wept. He wept and wept and wept, and practiced another year. He did not attain, and he wept. So he wept and wept for 29 years. In the 30th year, at the end of the rainy season, Mahasiva was still a Walin and had not attained anything. So he became very sad and wept aloud. So Mahasiva became very sad and wept aloud. At that time, a deity approached him, and the deity wept also. So Mahasiva heard somebody is weeping, and he asked, "Who is weeping here?" The deity said, "One day I am a deity. Why are you weeping?" Mahasiva said. The deity said, "One day I saw you weeping, and I thought I might get 1 or 2 megaphala just by crying." The deity said. So Mahasiva was deeply moved, and he remembered his situation, and he said to himself, "Mahasiva, think deeply now even the deity is making jokes about you. It is not proper for you to be depressed. It is not suitable for you to be sad. So he remembered to note. So he note whatever feeling coming up, and then he removed his sorrow and he continued to practice. Surely, if you continue to note, if you continue to practice, finally, Mahasiva became an Arahant. Although Mahasiva was well versed in the Tipitaka art, it took him 30 years to become an Arahant. His obsession with his sorrowful feeling with respect to non-worldly things during meditation had been an obstacle to his attainment. So meditator should not be discouraged. Meditator should not be depressed. In the practice of meditation, you have to pass pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and neutral feeling. So these unpleasant worldly feelings, yogi have to overcome. So we have to stop our discourse for today by practicing Satipatthana Vipassana meditation, by observing every feeling, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and neutral feeling, worldly or non-worldly, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses. May all practitioners realize the real peace in the very near future.
Sadhu, sadhu.